Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into one of the most shocking Bigfoot encounters ever caught on tape. Not from a drone, not from across a valley, but from just a few feet away. Captured in the still silence of a snowy mountain forest, this footage has stunned veteran investigators, raised unsettling questions, and left behind a mystery that refuses to be explained. Watch closely, because what you're about to see may change the way you look at the woods forever.
Right up there, that's where he's sitting, or the rock is sitting, or stone. Huh?
Up by like the triangular trees?
Yep. See how they kind of come down and then there's some...
What you're about to see is one of the closest and most unsettling encounters ever caught on camera. This wasn't filmed with a drone or from hundreds of yards away. No, the witness was just a few feet from the creature. The setting? A snow-covered mountainside deep in the forest, with the crisp silence of winter all around, until the screaming began. The footage begins as the couple records something bizarre. In front of them, just beyond the tree line, a massive figure is crouched over something. The man behind the camera whispers, "Shush," trying not to draw attention, but it's already too late.
Тихо. Что он там делает, а? Господи, только не мой нож.
The creature, a large, hulking figure covered in grayish-white fur, is aggressively beating something on the ground. At first, it's hard to tell what it is. But as the creature rises, dragging the lifeless body along, we catch a glimpse. It looks like a smaller primate. A monkey? In the snowy Russian mountains? That's when things escalate. The creature pauses. Its head turns slightly, and then fully locks onto the camera. In a split second, it knows. It's being watched, filmed, exposed. And it doesn't like that. With a terrifying stance, it charges, dragging the limp body behind it as it barrels forward through the snow like a freight train. The couple starts screaming, yelling in Russian as they scramble backward. The camera shakes violently. The woman's voice cracks. This is raw panic. But then, something unexpected happens. Just feet before reaching them, the creature slips. Behind it is a slope, a steep, snow-covered cliffside, and in a violent tumble, it falls, disappearing into the ravine below. You can hear the couple still screaming, but this time in disbelief. The camera slowly pans to where the beast vanished. There's no sign of it now, just broken snow and silence. What was the creature dragging? Was it a meal, a rival, or something else entirely? What would have happened had it not slipped? Would the couple have been its next target? We'll let you decide. But one thing's certain, this encounter could have ended very differently. What you're about to witness might just be one of the most bizarre and unexplainable clips captured deep within a foggy, snow-covered forest. It's not just about strange noises or fleeting shadows. This time, something enormous seems to be physically manipulating the very landscape around it. The video begins on a quiet, frozen hillside blanketed in snow. A group of people were filming the scenery, but what they captured was far from peaceful. Out of nowhere, a massive tree on the slope begins to shake violently, swinging as if it were made of rubber, like a twig caught in a storm. But there's no wind. The snow is still. The fog hovers. And yet the tree rocks side to side as though something powerful and unseen is playing with it. The cameraman zooms in, his hands shaking. You can hear their voices in the background. Anxious, whispering in disbelief. They're scared, clearly disturbed, but unable to look away. Then, something even stranger happens. Another tree, not just shaking, moves. It shifts entirely out of place, as if it's being uprooted and dragged. You can hear the crunching of snow and snapping of roots. It's not falling, it's being taken. Panic sets in. The group filming can hardly contain their shock. Their voices grow louder, urgent.
What's that?
Some of them scream, others freeze. You can almost feel their adrenaline, torn between fear and fascination. And just when the second tree moves faster, as if the invisible force is gaining speed, they can't take it anymore. They run. The camera shakes violently as the person sprints away, but not before capturing one last glimpse. Two trees, clearly displaced. One appears to be gone entirely.
What's that?
What did they just witness? A creature strong enough to uproot and drag entire trees? Could it be Bigfoot? Or was this the wrath of a Yeti, disturbed by trespassers in its snowy domain? We don't have the answers, but we do have the footage. Watch closely, see the zoomed-in version for yourself. The forest hides many secrets, and this may be one of its most chilling. Let us know what you think in the comments below. This next piece of footage is being hailed by many as the best Bigfoot sighting since the legendary 1967 Patterson-Gimlin footage. And honestly, once you watch it, you might just agree. We're deep in the woods. Snow coats the forest floor. Tall, dry trees stretch into a pale sky. Everything was quiet until the camera started rolling. The footage begins with heavy breathing and a shaky lens. Not your average nature hike. The man behind the camera is clearly in shock. Something rattled him to the core, and it wasn't just a fleeting shadow or rustling leaves. No, he saw something. Two figures walking upright in the snow. He fumbles with his phone, quickly pulling up the camera. He knows he saw them, and now he wants to prove it.
I got my head up, I see her. I just saw two figures walking.
The camera pans slowly, struggling to focus. You can tell he's scared. His breathing, the tremble in his voice, the slight panic in how he zooms in too fast. But then, just as he adjusts, he catches movement. He pans slightly to the left. And there it is.
Wait for a second.
A tall, bipedal figure, black against the white snow, moving slowly but confidently among the trees. And it's big, not just in height, but in sheer mass. This creature isn't hiding. It's moving freely like it owns the woods. Suddenly, it stops. It turns toward a tree, grabs it, and starts swinging it like it's nothing more than a toy. You can hear the panic rising in the man's voice. He whispers, "We gotta get out of here. We're too close." And honestly, who could blame him? That wasn't just a random action. That was strength, raw and unsettling. Whether it was a warning, a show of dominance, or simply play, we don't know. But whatever that creature is, it's not just wandering, it's aware.
There they are.
The video cuts, but 30 minutes later, the man returns. Against better judgment, he heads back to the exact spot of the sighting, camera still rolling. He points toward a tree. It snapped, resting on the ground just as the creature left it. The snow beneath it is marked with massive footprints, long strides, deep impressions, not the kind you'd expect from a human. This thing wasn't wearing boots. It wasn't barefoot either. The print is wide, unlike anything you'd see in your average wildlife tracking guide. You can hear the conflict in his voice. Curiosity is still battling fear. What did he really see? What was that towering figure that moved through the trees like a ghost, then demonstrated power that no man could match? Was it angry? Territorial? Or was that entire scene, the tree swinging, the slow approach, just a warning, something to say? I see you. Now leave.
The video. Okay. Right here's that tree. Like a creature broke in for whatever reason.
And that brings us to the bigger question. Was this a Sasquatch, a Bigfoot, or something entirely unknown? We're left with broken branches, giant footprints, and a few minutes of raw, trembling footage that raises more questions than answers. But one thing is for sure. Whatever that was, it wasn't human. The forest has secrets, and sometimes if you're in the right place at the wrong time, you catch a glimpse of something that was never meant to be seen. Watch the footage again, frame by frame. See the movement, listen to the fear, and ask yourself, what really lives in our forests? The Rocky Mountain Sasquatch operations, known for their boots-on-the-ground Bigfoot investigations, received a chilling submission that overlaps with one of the most well-known survival stories in the American wilderness. This is the story of Rita Chrétien, a Canadian woman who survived 47 days stranded in the remote Nevada wild. But this footage may suggest she wasn't alone out there. Rita and her husband had taken a wrong turn in March of that year. Unfamiliar with the terrain and unaware of seasonal closures, they ended up deep in the brutal backcountry south of Roland, a ghost town surrounded by dirt tracks that turn into an impassable maze during winter. Many of these roads don't open until late June. The environment? Hostile, isolated, and rarely traveled. In those conditions, survival alone is a feat. But what was caught on camera near that region adds a whole new layer of mystery.
She was located south of a ghost town called Roland, on a spur road of a maze of dirt roads in the rugged Jarbidge country. It is not just rugged terrain, it is brutal there in the winter.
In the video submission, a couple can be heard gasping softly as they zoom in on something unexpected. The shot is shaky at first, but then stabilizes slightly. There, tucked into what appears to be a natural rock formation.
Does it look like anything to you, or is it just my eyes?
Looks like something to me. I think we should leave the camera on it for a little while and see what it does.
Okay.
A cave-like spot partially obscured by broken branches and brush sits a dark figure. It's large, still, almost as if it's watching. They both are wondering, what is that thing? As they struggle to adjust the zoom. At roughly a mile away, the image is grainy but clearly bipedal. The figure isn't standing. It's sitting, shoulders hunched forward, arms resting on its knees like it's resting. You can feel their confusion, fear, curiosity.
Does it look like anything to you, or is it just my eyes?
Looks like something to me. I think we should leave the camera on it for a little while and see what it does.
Okay.
The woman zooms out briefly to try and describe the location for later reference. There are light green trees in the foreground, likely younger pines, and a row of tall, dark evergreens in the back. It's between those trees that the creature sits, unmoving, partially shaded by the canopy.
Right up there, that's where he's sitting. Or the rock is sitting, or stone. Huh?
Up by like the triangular trees.
Yep. See how they kind of come down, and then there's some...
Was it coincidence that this sighting occurred in the same region Rita Chrétien was stranded for weeks? Or was something watching? That part of the Jarbidge wilderness remains largely untraveled.
That big rock that's square, right below the very bottom tree. It's just up and to the right of it a little bit, like 5 feet.
But as this clip shows, sometimes the most remote corners of the wild hold more than just stories of survival. They may hide something, watching, waiting, and very, very real. This next clip comes from a YouTube channel called Broadcast Downloads, who received a startling piece of footage from a group of contractors working deep in the forests of Alberta, Canada. It was supposed to be a routine trip. The workers were headed to a remote construction site, the kind surrounded by dense woods, far from the nearest town. As they made their way toward the clearing, the fog rolled in. Visibility dropped, and that's when something caught their eye. At first it was just a silhouette, a mysterious dark figure standing motionless near the tree line. One of the men quickly pulled out his phone and began recording. The others stood still, confused, questioning. The shape barely moved, but its size was clear, massive, and completely still, as if watching them. And then, suddenly, movement.
Oh yeah, okay, now I see something, yeah. Yeah, he's kind of coming over the...
Without warning, the figure hurls a large tree branch, not just tossing it, but launching it across the clearing. It crashes to the ground dangerously. The men are not standing very far. You can hear them gasp. One of them yells. Panic sets in. This wasn't a prank. This wasn't someone in a suit. This was real, and it was far too close.
It's kind of spooky to begin with because it's this kind of shadowy, murky figure, just sort of peeking, just barely visible at the tree line.
Just through the tree.
The team later sent the footage in for analysis. Former NYPD image analyst Connor McCord runs the video through his enhancement software. The enhancement of the colors clearly reveals the figure in the woods and its incredible strength. What you're seeing now is no illusion. Something was out there, hiding in the mist, and it made its presence known in the most chilling way possible. Was it Bigfoot or something else entirely? We'll let you decide.
There's a mist and there's shadows from the forest. This all causes the image to be blurry. What I'm going to do here is do a level adjustment. It adjusts the brightness and the contrast. There we go. This is our target right here.
Our next sighting takes us to Old Forge, New York, a quiet town nestled on the western side of the Adirondack Mountains. Known for its dense wilderness and remote terrain, it has now become the backdrop for something truly unexplainable. It was a foggy afternoon when a group of friends were out exploring the area. As they moved through the woods, something caught their attention in the distance. A large, upright figure moving between the trees. At first they assumed it might be a bear, but then they looked closer. One of the men pulled out his phone and started recording. The footage shows a tall, black figure, bipedal, walking steadily and without hesitation. What's unsettling is how human-like the creature's movements are. You can clearly make out its arms swinging, the posture completely upright, and the stride smooth, confident. Whatever this was, it wasn't crawling or lumbering like a bear.
I don't see it right now.
Whoa, there it is.
It's a bear.
That's not a bear. What is that?
It's a freaking bear.
What?
A bear walking on legs that's brown around here?
You can hear the men in the background debating, their voices laced with nervous curiosity. "It's a bear," one says. Another disagrees. "That's not a bear, man." The creature walks as if it has nothing to fear, not hiding, not avoiding them, just calmly passing through the woods. No signs of panic, no sounds of aggression, just that eerie, unbothered movement through the mist. Was it Bigfoot? A Sasquatch? Or some unknown being that calls these mountains home? We'll let you decide. Take a closer look at the clip and let us know what you think in the comments below. The next clip comes from the YouTube channel Master Hughes, a man known for exploring the wilderness and sharing his findings with a loyal following. But this time, what he captured is something different, something that sent chills down his spine. It was dawn. Fog blanketed the entire mountaintop in Oklahoma, where he had been camping for several nights. For the first few days, things were normal, rustling in the trees, distant animal calls. But Master Hughes claims that the last 2 nights were dead silent. And then came the howl. He pulls out his camera, clearly shaken, and begins recording what he's hearing. The howling echoes through the dense fog, long, drawn out, and not quite animal, and definitely not human. There's something off about the pitch, the tone, even the rhythm. His heart is racing, and there is discomfort in breathing. Still, the howl rings out again, this time louder, clearer, and bone-chilling. The camera pans slowly as Hughes shows around, trying to show his audience that the footage is real and authentic. The fog is too thick. We can't see beyond a few feet. He's been in the wild for 6 nights. He knows the forest's usual sounds.
Now, I think this is my 6th night out, and for the first couple nights there was a lot of noises at night, obviously animal noises. The last 2 nights it's been extremely quiet.
But this one has him terrified. Could it be a predator announcing its presence? A creature celebrating a kill? Or was this howl a warning, letting others know the hunt is over? Later in the video, he sits down to talk about what he experienced. And you can see it. He's rattled. His voice is uneven, and his eyes scan the tree line constantly. "I've been keeping a low profile," he says. Could it have been Bigfoot? A skinwalker? Something else entirely? Or was it a creature we haven't identified yet? One that doesn't like being seen? We'll leave that for you to decide. Watch the clip, listen closely to the howls, and let us know what you think in the comments. This next clip comes from the YouTube channel Ohio Paranormal Investigations, a platform dedicated to uncovering and sharing eerie and unexplained sightings from across Ohio. But what you're about to see might just be one of the most unsettling pieces of footage they've ever received. It's a quiet day at Salt Fork State Park, one of Ohio's most well-known hotspots for strange activity. The forest is dense, the air damp, and a light fog hugs the tree line. Dried leaves crunch underfoot, and tall trees loom overhead. The video begins with a wide shot, and then movement. Something large, something not quite human. Partially obscured by the trees, a tall, dark figure shifts in the distance. You can hear the man filming, a fisherman, not a hunter, breathing heavily. There's fear in his voice, unease, maybe even sorrow. He wasn't looking for trouble. He came to fish, not chase monsters. His hands shake as he tries to hold the camera steady. He zooms in as trying desperately to lock on to the figure. But in the thick of the trees and fog, it's hard to make out. 1 second it's there, the next, it's gone. The man whispers something under his breath. He's rattled. And who wouldn't be? This isn't a man looking for fame. He isn't tracking creatures or telling stories. He simply stumbled upon something bizarre, something big, something that moved like it didn't belong among us. Was it Bigfoot? Was it something else entirely? Or was this just another trick of the forest? An illusion cast by the fog and fear. But the question that lingers isn't just about what he saw. It's about why these things keep happening in this forest. Are our parks and trails home to something ancient? Something hidden? Watch the clip again, listen to the sounds, feel the tension. And ask yourself, did this fisherman really capture a Bigfoot on camera? Or did something want him to see it? Let us know your thoughts. What you're about to see might be one of the most unsettling and unfiltered encounters ever uploaded to YouTube. The video comes from a woman named Nanea, an experienced turkey hunter who was out in the woods, doing what she's done countless times before. But this time, the forest had something waiting for her. She didn't go out looking for a mystery. She didn't expect anything unusual, but what she captured, accidentally, has shocked even the most hardened cryptid researchers. The footage opens with a close-up of Nanea's face. She's whispering into the camera, barely able to keep her voice steady. I don't know what I just saw, she whispers. I'm so startled right now. Her eyes dart towards something just off screen. She slowly turns the camera. At first it's shaky, nervous hands in a terrifying moment, but then it stabilizes, and that's when we see it. Two massive upright figures moving between the trees.
Yes, I was out here hunting, and I'm so startled right now. I think I may have stumbled across a Bigfoot. I'm just not sure. Here, let's see if you guys can tell.
They're dark, hulking, and disturbingly human in shape, but too big, too wide, too tall. One of them is dragging something along the ground, something limp, something that looks, eerily, like a deer. Nanea believes it was. She believes, I think I saw a Bigfoot carrying a deer it had killed, and I still don't know how I made it out of there alive. The creature's arms are massive, long and swinging. The way it moves isn't like a bear or anything else that belongs in those woods. These things were upright, coordinated, quiet. Then, one of them slows down. It turns, as if it saw her. There's a sharp intake of breath. The camera jolts, and then, cut to black. Just like that. It's over. Nanea never got closer. She didn't wait to see what would happen next. She backed out of the woods, heart pounding, and uploaded the footage days later, once she could process what she'd seen. Now the question shifts to you. Out there, alone, no help, two towering creatures, one of them dragging a fresh... What would you do?
I'm so startled right now. I'm so startled. Yeah, it looks like there's two Bigfoots. I don't know. Looks like he's got a dead deer in his arm or something, I'm not sure. Oh my god, I think he sees me. I have to go.
October 26, 2022. A regular day for two friends out exploring near Silver Point, until something unnatural crossed their path. The footage you're about to see was captured by Clay Shiner and his friend on his property. What started off as a simple hike turned into something they'd never forget. The video begins without warning. Right there, center frame, is a massive upright figure. It's hard to make out at first. The fog wraps around the trees like a veil, muting every detail. But look closer. Something is moving. Slow, deliberate, heavy.
Do you see that? Do you see that? I'm afraid.
The creature is bipedal. Its arms hang long, and it carefully grips the tree trunks as it makes its way through the tree line. Each step is placed with intention, as if it knows it's being watched. Clay's voice breaks the silence from behind the camera. Do you see that? He whispers, voice trembling. I'm afraid. You can hear the uncertainty. They didn't go looking for Bigfoot, but they may have found it. The figure lumbers forward, moving almost like it's injured, or simply cautious, grabbing trees for balance or cover.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
It never turns its head, never looks toward the camera, but its size and posture make one thing clear. This isn't a bear, and it's not human. Despite being only a few hundred feet away, the thick haze makes the entire moment feel dreamlike, unreal, like something you weren't meant to see. Clay and his friend stay low, silent, in shock. The camera never cuts, just a steady, tense shot of something that has no business being there. Was it watching them too, or was it just passing through? We may never know for sure, but what Clay captured that day is a chilling reminder. Sometimes we stumble upon things in the wild, things we were never meant to see. What exactly was that creature dragging through the snow? Was it a fresh kill, a rival, or something far more sinister? We may never truly know, but one thing is certain. It wasn't human, and it wasn't supposed to be seen. Encounters like these raise more questions than answers. Why do so many sightings happen in isolated, fog-covered terrain? Why are they always fleeting, always just out of reach? Are these creatures watching us more often than we think, hiding in plain sight just beyond the tree line? As always, we'll let you decide. Re-watch the footage, slow it down, look closely. The devil is in the details, and so might be the truth.
Exploring with Josh is a YouTube channel famous for taking its audience into some of the world's most mysterious and haunted locations, blending adventure with a touch of the paranormal. One of their most chilling videos, Our Terrifying Night at Skinwalker Cave, transports viewers to Lovellock Cave, a site in northern Nevada.
For many years, human remains were put on display in museums here and elsewhere, but that changed. Most of the bones and skulls that were once considered to be...
that holds not just bones and ashes, but an ancient, terrifying story. According to Paiute tribal lore, this cave was once the site of a brutal battle between their ancestors and a race of giants known as the Si-Te-Ka. These red-haired giants, much taller and stronger than normal humans, were said to be cannibals who tormented the Paiutes for generations.
Generations and generations to their kids, and it keeps everything going, which is exactly the whole thing with the Skinwalkers as well.
The giants would raid their villages, kidnap their people, and feast on their flesh. As the stories go, the Paiute tribes, desperate to end the reign of terror, banded together to destroy the giants. In their final stand, the remaining Si-Te-Ka took refuge in the cave, refusing to come out.
Every month or every so often, the Native Americans had to sacrifice one of their own men to the giants. The giants had right here.
The Paiutes retaliated by setting the cave on fire, using flaming arrows to suffocate and burn the giants alive. Josh delves deep into this tale of ancient conflict, bringing history to the forefront. He explains that although the idea of red-haired giants may sound far-fetched to some,
bring us to a cave on the top of a mountain, but it does start here at Lovellock Cave, and here's the sign for it.
Archaeological evidence suggests otherwise. In the 1800s, miners who stumbled upon Lovellock Cave unearthed large skeletal remains, bones so massive they were thought to belong to these very giants.
For more than a century, a story has persisted about the skeletons of giants being found.
In addition to the giant skeletons, they found remains of Native Americans. Around 60 bodies scattered around the cave, many of whom had been buried there for centuries. For years, these remains were displayed in museums, sparking a larger conversation about what happened in that cave. Eventually, most of the bones were returned to the tribes for burial.
Here's something that really works too, that we find works good. We're gonna take this, we're gonna bring it down there, we're gonna hit record, and we're gonna come back up and then ask the questions.
Good idea.
But Josh's exploration raises the question, could these legends of giants and war be more than just myth? As Josh and his team descend deeper into the cave, the atmosphere turns cold, dense with history. They carefully set up their equipment,
As soon as we we get down there, we're gonna set up some more gear. But first, look at the ceiling. It is actually all charred out and completely burned. It looks like somebody set a huge...
Scanning the walls for any signs of the ancient fire that supposedly consumed the giants. The ceiling of the cave bears unmistakable marks of being scorched, charred, blackened stone, evidence of a fire so intense it might have been the one the Paiutes used to trap the giants. With the setup complete, Josh prepares for an Estes session, using a spirit box to attempt communication with whatever spirits may still linger in the cave.
This method, Seth is going under. We're going to be switching into red. We have headphones. These headphones are going to allow us to do this. The spirit box is going to go on. Once these headphones go on Seth's ears.
As they begin, an eerie noise interrupts the stillness. A motion-triggered object, which should have remained silent, starts lighting up and playing music on its own. No one is near it. The air grows thick with tension as footsteps echo nearby, though no one else is present.
That was as clear as day. Did you just see
I heard the rock drop, dude. I heard the rock just fall.
Up there! Shit, dude. I'm getting away from that, bro. Him! No way! Oh my...
It becomes clear that something is reacting to their presence, something unseen. The team moves further into the cave, setting up a REM pod to measure any paranormal activity. Suddenly, the pod begins to flash and beep in erratic patterns.
How many spirits remain in this cave?
How many giants were here?
Is there anything you want to tell us?
It's reacting to something, but there's no one near it. Each flicker and pulse seems to follow the team's questions. Intelligent responses coming from something beyond the living. When Josh asks about the spirits of those buried in the cave, the pod reacts, lighting up in confirmation.
Yup.
Yeah, keep
oh
doing
my
that.
god.
Please.
Oh my...
Guys.
It's gonna pop.
Yes. Keep going, please. Almost there.
The crew is left stunned as the flashing becomes more pronounced, seemingly answering their queries. The team then turns their attention to a deeper question. Is this place haunted by spirits of the past? And, more specifically, do the ancestors of the Paiutes still roam these dark chambers? The response is unmistakable. The pod flickers again. Josh and his team realize they are not alone. This exploration isn't just about uncovering the past. It's about facing the unanswered questions that linger in the dark corners of history. It captures the kind of eerie, inexplicable moments that make this channel so gripping, leaving viewers with a lingering sense that maybe, just maybe, there are forces in these caves that refuse to be forgotten.
If it was for you guys, this video wouldn't be a thing. Like, we had so much evidence. You guys guided us here. We know about the history because of you guys. Everything about this video.
Deep in Florida's Everglades waterways, locals have believed for a very long time in something that doesn't belong there. A creature they call the skunk ape. In the early 2000s, brief video showed what many believe is this legendary being, moving with surprising speed through terrain that seems like it would challenge even the most experienced sportsman. The video begins with a peaceful swamp scene, birds calling, insects buzzing in the humid air. Then movement catches the eye, something large pushing through the dense vegetation across a small waterway. For just 14 seconds, we glimpse a massive hair-covered figure with reddish-brown fur, moving with purpose before disappearing into the maze of mangroves and saw palmetto. What immediately stands out is the creature's adaptation to this environment, suggests wildlife biologist Dr. Samantha Wolf. The long arms, the hunched posture, these would be advantageous adaptations for navigating swampland. It moves through terrain that would leave most humans floundering. The video's shortness is both its strength and weakness. While too short for a detailed inquiry, It also seems to lack the proper staging, which is common in fake videos. The creature's movements seem to be natural. Its body and proportions seem consistent with reported sightings dating back to the 1940s. Dave Sheely, who is a longtime skunk ape researcher that operates a small museum fully devoted to the creature, has spent decades tracking these sightings. People think the Everglades is this managed, understood ecosystem, but there's still over 1 million acres of virtually impenetrable wilderness here. The water makes tracking nearly impossible. Footprints disappear almost instantly. The Florida swamps are the perfect habitat for such a creature. Remote, wet, and impossible to locate easily. But this thing moves through it without any effort. One can comment how it differs from the Bigfoot creature, which is equally unknown, in its reported odor, an overwhelming smell of methane and decay that has given the creature its name. Witnesses describe a smell so strong it causes physical discomfort, often detected minutes before and after sightings. "That smell ain't something you forget," explains Marcus Thibodeau, who is an airboat operator who claims 3 encounters over 30 years. "Like something died, but mixed with rotten eggs. Strong enough to make your eyes water. Always smelled it before I saw anything." Biologists believe that if such a creature exists, the odor might be for reasons other than just making you uncomfortable, perhaps stopping predators from tracking them or marking their territory. Others suggest it could be the result of a diet heavy in carrion or from bacteria in the creature's fur adapted to the humid environment. The footage, although it does not suggest much, captures something moving with actual purpose and familiarity through one of North America's most challenging environments. Whether undiscovered predator, misidentified bear, or elaborate fraud, the skunk ape remains a part of Florida's cultural identity. A reminder that even in our most developed state, wilderness and mystery exist in the spaces between civilization.
Colorado. Bigfoot is a YouTube channel known for its raw, boots-on-the-ground investigations into the elusive Sasquatch. The channel's host is a seasoned field researcher who has spent years pursuing the mystery in forests across the United States. His passion stems from first-hand encounters and physical evidence, hundreds of tracks, broken structures, and eerie sounds. Each experience driving home the belief that Sasquatch is real. What starts off as a routine tracking session quickly spirals into a tense and fascinating series of encounters. As the sun sets and the forest darkens, the host begins hearing vocalizations, low rumbling sounds and strange chatter only feet away. It's the kind of moment you don't plan for, the kind that's entirely unscripted and raw. The environment feels different, heavier, as if they're not alone anymore. Watch carefully as the camera picks up ambient forest sounds while the tension rises. Listen closely for those distinct knocks and chatter. Watch yourself. As the team presses deeper into the woods, their attention shifts to the countless tree bends and broken structures. What appears at first glance to be fallen branches becomes a clear pattern of snapped and twisted formations. Watch closely as the camera zooms in on one particularly clear track, a toe impression with visible depth and separation from the other toes. Something big walked through here.
I mean, that looks like a footprint to me. Are these separate?
Later into the night, another striking discovery is made. The camera focuses on a full footprint embedded in the soft dirt between fallen leaves. The host explains how the toes are perfectly aligned, the mid-tarsal break is visible, and the depth of the heel confirms significant weight. It's not just one print. There are several leading into and over obstacles, stepping cleanly through brush and over fences. These aren't markings that could be left by a deer or any other common animal.
fluffed. Someone's been here recently, but it looks like a deer. No, a moose. It's a moose.
He notes the shape, the pressure points, and even the stride length. When zoomed out, the prints align in a straight path, almost like a purposeful trail laid down in silence. Watch yourself.
Moose, you guys. That's not what that was. That back there is not from moose.
As they continue tracking, another footprint emerges, this one clearer than the rest. The team shines light across the ground, revealing a massive impression, 17 inches long, with 5 toes spread out and a deep arch.
It's a foot, so where my foot is, it's 10 inches down from my foot, and it was all dug out.
The camera captures every detail, from the separation of each toe to the distinctive mid-foot curve. The host compares it to his own foot, and the size difference is staggering. The prints snake through the underbrush, each step faint but traceable if you know what to look for. It takes patience, focus, and an understanding of how Sasquatch navigates terrain. Watch yourself. The energy shifts again as more footprints are discovered. Some deep, others faint, but all aligned and telling a story. They piece together a movement pattern.
Right there. Look at the size of that footprint. I get them a lot. They're always right here. I get footprints here all the time.
Revealing not just one creature, but possibly several. The host stresses the importance of reading the land, noting how every twig, every scuff could be part of the larger puzzle. This isn't fantasy. It's a methodical observation. He emphasizes how subtle signs, pressed leaves, twisted branches, the layout of shelters, all contribute to the growing body of evidence that Sasquatch operates with intelligence and purpose. Watch yourself. Evidence continues to mount that this land belongs to something else. There's no deer scat, no signs of common game. The forest is eerily clean. He reiterates that he knows where the local animals live, and this is not their space. But one species might pass through, wolves. He says they could appear at any moment.
It won't be here, but they'll be going through places like that. The wolves are here, and I could bump into them at any minute.
Then the camera finds something again, a new anomaly, a clay-formed mound, maybe a cave. As he zooms in, its shape becomes clearer. This isn't a random pile of dirt or debris. It's molded, protected, and possibly used. At one point, the lens captures what looks like a fossil, something trapped in stone for millennia, possibly a leaf embedded in rock.
Something was fossilized for billions of years. Millions of years. It looks like a leaf, you guys.
It's a final reminder that even when the original path is lost, the forest finds new ways to speak. Watch yourself. 7 moments. 7 different locations. But one single question still echoes after every clip. What exactly is out there? Skeptics call it illusion, misidentification, or worse, pure fantasy. But these recordings? Let us know in the comments. And if you've ever had a brush with the unexplained in the woods, we want to hear your story. Subscribe for more raw encounters, and until next time, stay alert, keep your camera rolling, and never hike alone after sundown.
Exploring with Angelo is a YouTube channel famous for diving headfirst into abandoned and haunted locations that many would never dare to step foot in alone. In his video titled Very Scary Solo Camping in Skinwalker Canyon, something wasn't right. Angelo ventures solo into a desolate canyon in the American West. From the first few minutes, there's something unsettling about the place. The wind moves through with a low hum.
I just heard the weirdest noise down there. Whoa, look at these frickin' rocks. That is so cool. Dude, it almost doesn't even look real.
And the silence between gusts is thick and unnatural. As Angelo surveys the rocky terrain, he points out a small sign warning about rattlesnakes in the area, just another layer of danger added to an already isolating location. Nearby sits a single, weather-worn picnic bench, completely out of place in the wild emptiness of the canyon.
Okay. Oh yeah, look at that. There's like boulders and stuff down.
As he walks around, the land dips into strange formations, massive boulders jutting out like ancient bones of the earth.
So I think it was just like tapping on the glass.
He pauses when he hears something faint, a sound that doesn't match the rhythm of the wind. There's nothing visible, but something about the acoustics in this canyon makes everything sound closer than it should. These opening moments give the strong impression that this isn't just a quiet night in the desert. This place holds secrets buried in silence.
I swear, some of these places out here in the west, it's like we're in fucking Mars or something. It's pretty amazing. I don't know what's down there, but I guess we could go like down in that area.
It feels like stepping into another planet. A jagged Mars-like landscape, too vast and barren to feel safe.
It's like literally like almost Mars or some other planet. I don't even know. Maybe Uranus? I have no idea.
Something out here is watching. Observe this moment. Night approaches fast. Angelo had planned to continue driving, but the growing darkness and the strangeness of the landscape convince him to camp for the night.
I think I might set up camp here. I don't think there's a point in really leaving. I hope whatever's out here, I do hope we actually catch.
He sets up his gear and powers on Spirit Talker, a device often used in paranormal investigations to receive supposed real-time messages from spirits. He doesn't know much about the canyon.
Just continue on my drive tomorrow. I'm gonna actually get Spirit Talker running, because we don't really know what the hell is out here.
Only rumors, eerie tales, and unsettling comparisons to other high strangeness locations. As he gets his flashlight ready, a sense of vulnerability creeps in. The open desert around him provides no shelter, and the shadows stretch endlessly between jagged rock faces and the loose gravel underfoot. The wind continues howling, stronger now.
We're hearing stories of some creature-esque type thing, and we want to know what that creature-esque type thing might be.
And every gust seems to bring with it the possibility of something more, something not quite animal, not quite explainable. He decides to walk further into the canyon, navigating by flashlight, aware that any wrong step could land him on a snake, or worse. The deeper he goes, the more surreal the landscape becomes. He comments on how everything looks so unnatural.
Right now, it's very odd because the last place it actually said piano.
Need time.
Towering stone formations that resemble ruins from another world. His Spirit Talker begins throwing out strange words. Associated, then Virginia, making it feel like he's being toyed with, as if something knows he's there.
Associated.
You're associated to what? So what if, like, my kind of idea is that, like...
He pauses often, looking over his shoulder. Something flashes in the corner of his eye. Just movement, quick, far, and low. The isolation is overwhelming, yet he keeps going, driven by the need to understand what truly haunts this desert. Experience the descent.
Cut.
Cut what?
What follows is even more bizarre. While navigating through uneven terrain and cracked stone formations, Angelo comes across a boulder that has been split clean in half, as if it were deliberately cracked not by nature, but by something else. He stumbles slightly as the ground shifts beneath him, revealing a bleached white object protruding from the soil. Upon closer inspection, it becomes clear. It's a bone.
What am I looking at right now? That is really weird. I don't know what that is. It looks like a skull of some sort. It has to be.
Not just any bone, but what appears to be a partial skull with vertebrae still attached. He crouches in disbelief. Out here, so far from civilization, this is not something you'd expect to find by accident. The shape, the condition, everything about it is wrong. It's not fresh, but it's not ancient either. The presence of this remains stirs something in the air. The canyon feels like it holds its breath. The deeper he explores, the less it feels like a camping trip and more like an initiation into something eerie and ancient. Rocks begin to resemble faces in the flicker of flashlight beams.
Places I've ever investigated before. Yeah, there's literally something sticking out of that. Oh my god, that was a bird.
A strange buzzing in his ears rises, though the wind never changes pace. It's as if the canyon is whispering just below the range of human hearing. As he stands over the bones, a sharp chill hits him. Not from the air, but something internal, as if the energy of the canyon has passed through him. The direction he saw the strange shape earlier seems to line up with where he now stands, near the broken rocks and mysterious remains. His voice becomes quieter, more cautious. Something is very wrong here. See this chilling discovery unfold.
Sasquatch Omega has been tracking the unknown for years, but this time, things escalated. Their latest nighttime expedition turned into something far more intense. A long series of encounters that hinted at something intelligent, fast-moving, and incredibly close.
Something's moving back there about 30 yards.
Well, that's where we're going anyway, so.
This wasn't just another night in the field. It felt coordinated, like they were being watched from the shadows. It begins with faint vocalizations in the distance, low, guttural, and irregular.
Are those the neighbors coming out?
No. There's only that one house right here that they own.
Are the neighbors outside?
At first, it's hard to tell what they're hearing. Coyotes? Maybe. But then comes something different. A long, sharp howl that stops everyone cold. The camera catches their reaction as they scan the forest line, trying to pinpoint where it came from. That's when the rock throwing starts. A heavy object crashes near their camp, followed by rustling. Then another. They're not alone. Check this moment when the first vocalization is followed by a clear object impact in the brush.
Didn't grow here.
Oh, What? Don't move. You didn't fucking hear that?
It's okay, buddy.
The group spreads out. Flashlights sweep across the forest, and the FLIR camera comes out. Thermal hits show strange heat signatures. Too tall, too upright. One shape disappears behind a tree. They don't chase it. They know better. Instead, they mark the location and scan again. From another direction, a second vocal call. This one is deeper, shorter, almost like a bark. Then another crash. Something heavy is thrown again. It's too deliberate to ignore. They're surrounded, and whatever's out there is communicating, maybe even coordinating. Watch yourself as the FLIR captures movement between trees and strange audio pulses escalate.
Dude, listen. Shh.
Yeah.
What is that?
I don't know, but there's something back there for sure.
They regroup and move toward where the vocalizations were strongest. And that's when they find the footprints, massive impressions in soft soil. Some fresh, some older. The team measures them, 16 inches long, spaced nearly 7 feet apart.
The entire thing, that's the 17-incher.
That is a big boy right there.
It stepped on the thing.
One print shows a clear toe splay, another has a noticeable mid-tarsal break. These aren't boot prints, and they're not from wildlife. They follow the tracks a short distance before something slams in the distance, a branch break or a body crashing through brush. It's close, maybe 40 yards away. Then comes the moment no one forgets. The team hears a single deep exhale, like a breath released from something massive and nearby. It's not caught on camera, but everyone reacts. The air shifts, the woods go silent. One investigator whispers, "It's here." They go still, scanning the blackness. For a few seconds, nothing. And then, a fast-moving shadow darts across the thermal screen. It's upright, hunched, and it disappears just as quickly as it came. Everyone is locked in, completely focused. The tension is sky high. Watch the chilling moment when the thermal captures movement at close range before vanishing.
No, or was it? Oh, shit. No, that was not a fucking car.
The final minutes are eerily calm. No more crashes, no more knocks. Whatever it was, it's gone, or watching from further away. The team quietly packs up and retreats.
No one comes here. And so it's very strategic. We can go back inside if you want.
But something's changed. This night wasn't just random encounters. It felt like a test, like something came close on purpose, just far enough to be seen, heard, and understood. The evidence, footprints, vocalizations, thermal hits, is real, And the feeling, unshakable. One last time, feel the silence set in as the crew exits the area, leaving behind a place that won't be forgotten.
Steve, I guarantee you probably never would have come here, right? No one comes here.
If you've had a strange encounter or caught something on camera you can't explain, send it our way. Your clip could be featured in an upcoming episode. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next unexplained moment caught on film. Because out there, in the snow, the fog, the silence, something is moving, watching, waiting. We'll see you next time, right here, where the unknown is always one frame away.